Okay, I am live downtown Middletown. Behind me is Middlesex Superior Court. Look at that big building right there. And I'm here today because of a case involving the state of Connecticut, which is working to terminate the rights of a couple from Tennessee. They were traveling through the state of Connecticut and stopped at Middlesex Hospital and had their baby. But there's more to the story, so I'm here with Joyce, who organized the event. I'm going to turn the camera onto her, and she's going to explain a little bit more about the case better than I can. And so here we go. So this is Joyce. I'm going to get close so they can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, so, all right, so last November, the parents, Susie and Peter, were driving from New Jersey. They're originally from Tennessee, but they were visiting with their relatives in Jersey for a family event.
Yeah.
And they left their two boys there with the grandparents just to do a weekend getaway. She was along in her pregnancy. She had a couple more weeks to go. No signs of being close to delivery yet. She was going to be doing, though, a VBAC in Jersey, a birthing center. But they were going to do a romantic, just quiet getaway before the family gets bigger.
Yeah.
So they had this place in Maine that they go to. And 3 hours into the drive, she was having some back pain. So just to check it out to see that she wasn't having any kind of labors or anything like that, they pulled over to go to Middlesex Hospital. And right then they started to tell them, oh, you must be Muslim terrorists. Going to Canada, you are neglectful of your child because you've driven 20 hours from Tennessee, which is not the case. If they actually took a social history, they would have listened to them coming from Jersey. Then they said things like she was on drugs, and then they said she doesn't know how to change a diaper.
So they have these are all just accusations without anything proven. So basically they pull into Middlesex Hospital because she's having back pains. And so the next thing they did is they did a cesarean section on her without her consent.
They forced without consent. They strapped her down. They forced them to not say anything. Or they will go to prison or something.
So they use threatening.
Use threats. Yeah. And but they did allow Peter to videotape. Now, just a step back. Peter and Susie are highly educated medical students.
They're medical students.
They graduated medical school. They're very, very intelligent. Some might say biracial. I mean, to me, they're beautiful people. He was born in Egypt, but he's not even Muslim. Even his name isn't Muslim. It's Peter Theodoro.
So they accused him because he's Egyptian, that he was a terrorist headed to Canada.
Yes.
Now,
but he's a Christian.
So,
but it has nothing to do with anything. They fabricated the whole thing because they wanted an excuse to be able to take baby Susie.
So tell me what you told me before about the cash incentives that the state gets for foster to have kids out into a foster.
The Clintons have the Adoption and Safe Family Act in 1997.
What was that again?
1997, the Clinton administration signed the Adoption and Safe Family Act. And that gives incentive for the children that are put into foster care and forced adoption. Also, another funds that they take money from is Social Security funds. They will take money from Title IV, D and E. D for child support and E for group homes and social foster care, which today, this very day, is supposed to be over. That they will no longer, but I don't know what's happening now because 2 years ago, or a year ago, I think they had the states all paid a fine to be able to keep it longer until I think this is the deadline that they weren't supposed to go past. So I don't know what's going to happen now. But I'm praying that it does get defunded, and we're working on getting defunded right now for Title D. So, but anyway, this money that they get, the county gets for these children.
So they get cash.
Doesn't go to the foster parents.
It doesn't go to the. It goes to the
coffers. They have quotas. Some.
Wait,
Yeah.
They have quotas.
Quotas, yes. I have read a contract. Well, DCF, or Child Protective Services, will contract with different companies, because it's a private industry. It is not a state agency. It's state corporated.
State
agency.
corporated.
Yes, it's a corporate agency. It is not actual government. It is run by, it is contracted by the government, and it's subcontracted to the hospitals, to YMCA. I saw a contract with YMCA in Florida with 3 different counties that they had quotas for how many children that they will involve DCF to take children. Quotas to meet their financial obligations.
Wow.
And hospitals have the same contract. Not all of them. I don't know. But there are some that are worse than others. There are some places that are worse than others. Middlesex is bad. The caseworker that took Sophia told Susie, the mother, they do this to immigrants all the time.
I was just going to ask you that question. So they take immigrant children away from their families. Well, it seems to me, from my perspective, that one of the things they do is they go after people who don't have as much financial resources.
Yes.
And with
or from a different state, because this is like a different country. They give them an appointed lawyer from here, who is a player. And so they can't even, the judge will not allow them to release that lawyer, to hire a private lawyer. Finally, they got that. But now, what's happening now is they're saying, oh, so when they had gag order too, so it's unconstitutional what happens in the family court.
Yeah, so this whole thing with gag order, so basically a family, it's a threat.
Bullying.
And what happens if you disobey the gag order?
Well, now they're saying, well, you must be crazy since you went on social media to talk about your...
So she was accused of being crazy.
Yes, anybody crazy would do that, because now they're threatening their other 2 children in Tennessee, and then they played games with Tennessee, the CPS people, and they had smeared them in their local neighborhood where they live. But basically, because they went on social media, they must be crazy.
Yeah.
Because they told their story. But that's a constitutional right.
Yeah.
You see, in the courts, you do not have a jury. Standard of
family
evidence,
court. In family court, it's a judge.
Yeah.
So it's a different type of scenario. So normally our judicial process has a jury. I'm going to switch us so we're both on, so like we're talking together. So normally the judicial process is that you have a jury trial, but in family court, it's just a judge.
Just a judge, and the standard of evidence is hearsay, a preponderance of evidence, or hearsay. So basically, any amount of lies, which the caseworkers do with impunity, because they don't get in trouble. They don't get, the perjury is acceptable in family court. And even if you have evidence that somebody is perjured in court, the judge decides not to listen to it.
So the judge is the jury. The judge is the judge and the jury in family court.
Yes.
This is something that I think a lot of people don't realize about family court. And the best interest of the child and all that is determined by... the best interest of the child is determined by the judge.
The bar of evidence is really low. Hearsay is admissible, whereas clear and convincing evidence, there's different levels of evidence, and criminal court has the clear and convincing. So if you're going to remove a child from the parents, shouldn't you have a jury?
Yes.
Shouldn't you have clear and convincing evidence?
Yes.
Well, they're talking about a permanency hearing now because they're refusing their psychiatric eval because they must be crazy because they went on social media.
Okay.
And now their own statutes say 18 months, but it's only been 11 months.
So the state of Connecticut is moving this Thursday. The state of Connecticut is going to have a hearing here at the court. Now, I'm busy on Thursday, but that's probably an open hearing. Is that, or do you know?
Most of the court cases are closed. They, if you could sneak in as a court watcher, but a lot of times the judge will kick you out.
Okay. So let me this is the way it's happening. So without any real hard evidence, without a jury, without proper due process, this family from Tennessee is about to lose their child for 7 months, right? Correct? Is 7 months?
No, last November.
So they haven't had their baby. How long has it been?
Since the baby was born.
And when was the
3
baby
days
born?
old. Oh, in November last year.
So it's almost been a year that this child has been in the state of Connecticut's custody. And now on Thursday, they are moving to strike their parental rights and adopt the baby out.
There's the permanency hearing. So I'm not sure what will be determined, but we're trying to, let the judge know that we see what's going on.
Yeah.
That we're not going to keep silent and we're not going to allow them to be gagged, because this is crazy what happened.
Yeah.
It happens to way too many people, and we know what happens here.
Yeah.
We know because the caseworker even said it happens here.
Yeah. So there is a GoFundMe campaign if you're watching this video. There's not a lot of press on it. That's one of the reasons that I wanted to come down here and talk about it and spread this case out there, because this is really disturbing information that a little baby could be taken by the state of Connecticut with, it's circumstantial evidence. They don't really have anything.
There's nothing. There was no parenting class. I mean, what kind of parenting classes did they even offer when they decided to take the baby? I mean, they said, you don't have a pediatrician. Every excuse that they can find, they tried to give. You don't have a pediatrician to do a follow-up for 3 days. Well, because they're here in Connecticut and they can find one, or they can just go back to New Jersey where they had a birthing plan, which is 3 hours away. So they wouldn't let the grandparents in New Jersey, because again, it's out of state. The state will lose money if the baby leaves Connecticut.
So you get that, guys, that because this couple is from out of state, they're like, it's almost like they're in a different country. In the state of Connecticut. They've basically lost their constitutional rights to due process. They, what are the
Constitutional
official
state, right?
Yeah, the Constitution state, Connecticut. Come on, what is going on here? So how is it that our state here, in my city, here in Middletown, where I know this city so well, could just literally do that? Take a little infant away from a family, a loving, caring family, with there's no substantiated physical evidence of abuse. It's just the state is saying, she couldn't change a diaper.
And how does this doctor get away with doing it? It's
Yeah.
a female doctor. How does she get away with doing this? Why?
Yeah.
What kind of woman would do this to another woman? What kind of woman caseworker would do this to another woman? They're psychotic.
I want to say,
I don't know. Is it
do
money?
they believe that? Are they in their
really
mind?
believe? I don't
so
know.
one of the things that we talked about earlier was predictive neglect.
Predictive neglect.
Tell me a little bit about predictive neglect.
Predictive neglect is essentially witchcraft, but Connecticut allows it. And it's meaning that you're going to be committing a crime because of circumstantial evidence. It didn't happen yet. So they're predicting that you're going to be neglecting your child.
So
it's like, so if you have maybe if you have a 6-pack in your refrigerator, they can say that your kid, I don't know, that's a bad example. I can't even think of an example, because it's witchcraft. It's like they're going to say that you're going to do something to your child, but there's no proof that you're going to do something to your child, or that you even have. You're supposed to be guilty, like proven guilty, innocent until guilty, and with predictive neglect, it's like you're guilty of something you didn't even do yet, never mind having to prove your innocence. It's messed up, but it's allowable in Connecticut. But although there are case laws across the country, the predictive neglect in criminal cases is absolutely a no-no, but not in family court.
But not in family court.
Not in Connecticut, not in Middletown.
So
courthouse.
The way that it works in family court needs some serious reform. And I hope that if you've never experienced family court in your life, that you never ever absolutely have to. But this particular case is so scary, because this family could potentially lose their child, because the state wants to adopt this baby out. And there is financial incentive. I know this is really hard for a lot of people to believe. Why would that happen? People just don't. Wow, why would that happen,
they have
right?
A gorgeous home. They had a beautiful room set up for Sophia. They live very, very nice in a very nice neighborhood. I know the neighborhood that they're in. And the baby Sophia is with a couple that working around the clock. And as soon as the baby turned 6 weeks old, they had the baby in daycare.
So the state of Connecticut took a baby from a loving family to put that child into a foster care system, and the foster parents work full-time and put the infant in daycare at 6 weeks old. And for some reason, the state of Connecticut seems to think that's better than the child being with their loving family. And because the parents are originally from out of state, they are like refugees here in Connecticut with no rights. And the state of Connecticut is refusing to allow this baby to go back to to their home in Tennessee, and instead are trying to keep this baby and adopt this baby out against the parents' wishes. Yes. This is an epic tragedy. So I'm glad that you're here and that you're bringing attention to this, because people just don't know about it. I think people don't want to believe it. It's hard to believe. It's like it's a sensational story. Oh, that can't be true. I've heard people say that. I've read through the thread. Oh, how could that possibly happen? That doesn't happen. But it does. It's happening too much. I see these cases a lot happening across the country, from medical kidnap to a case like this where they're just, they come in from out of state. So yeah, this is a strange story. So we're gonna just, you're driving and you're having your baby and we're gonna keep it. What?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can't travel when you're pregnant?
The thing is, all of the evidence was video recorded, and pictures and video recorded. So Peter Theodoro did get pictures of everything and video footage of everything that happened. So basically, if you go on letourbabiesgo.com, letourbabiesgo.com, you can see a lot of the links. Also, the event page for Save Sofia rally, which is today. You go to the Facebook event page. The links are in there also that you can get to find Let Our Babies Go, Save Sofia with an F.
So it's Sofia with an F, and I'm going to sign out for now. I'm going to invite Joyce on the radio show. We're going to book a date. Maybe you can call me tonight for a few minutes if that works out for you. We have a band coming in tonight, so it's going to be mostly music, but this is a really important story that I thought we should talk about and really look at, and don't instantly judge a situation because, it's the state of Connecticut, they know what's best, the state knows what's best. No, the state doesn't know what's best. I have found through personal experience that the family court system is extremely corrupt and awful to deal with. And if you ever find yourself in a situation where you are in family court, be prepared for a really intense ride, financially devastating to a lot of families, and situations that could just be horrible. But this particular case is a young mom had her baby, they were traveling, and she's pulled over with her husband to Middlesex Hospital because she was having some back pain and wanted to check herself, okay? So how is that a neglectful mother?
That's
you would think if they were
opposite.
Yeah, you would think that they would be, if they're gonna run, if they're terrorists, okay, if they were terrorists, why would they stop at the hospital to check his wife out so that they make sure their baby is safe and okay? This is insane.
Right.
So I know how this story sounds so sensational, but I really want you guys to think about it, all right? And think about how there's a lot of corruption. And I didn't even know. Just say again about that act, the Clinton,
the Adoption and Safe Family Act of '97. The Clinton administration signed that, and that's where they get financially incentivized for this, as well as the Title IV in family court.
That's
yeah.
I didn't know that before, so I'm definitely going to be reading up a lot more on that.
Title IV comes from your Social Security fund. We don't pay taxes. We subsidize kidnapping by our state.
Wow. See, I think money is the root of all evil. Wow. I'm so sorry. Thank you so much for talking to me, Joyce. I appreciate that. And thank you guys for watching. Share this video. I'm going to put a link in the comments to the event, and you can find out more information. The family does have a GoFundMe campaign. Their hearing is on Thursday. I wish I could be here for that, but I'm not able to. I have something else in my calendar.
Can I say a few more
please do. Yeah, please do.
All right, so the Child Protective Services is the #1 portal to child trafficking in the country, in the world. It's happening all over the country, all over the world, I should say. That the FBI recently found that 90% of the children that they find in the sex trafficking industry are through the group homes, foster care group homes, which is what Title IV-E just hopefully put a kibosh, but all the states paid sanctions to continue. They paid fines, I should say, to continue to not get rid of their Title IV request money. So yeah, today's supposed to be the last day, so we'll see what happens with that. We'll see if more kids go home. But kids go missing, and they don't go missing and then get reported. They call them all runaways, but the ones who come back, why would they come back if they were runaways? They came back because they were being trafficked.
Wow.
They were being trafficked. They have no place else to go. Yes, I see somebody saying 800 deaths. You know, 80% of the cases are unsubstantiated cases. Even if you have it's 10% of well-hidden cases, a child can't speak, or there's no marks on the, they can't prove anything. Let's say 10% margin of error, okay, statistically. 70% then. Would you have that kind of an incarceration rate when only 5% of those who are incarcerated are innocent? Now, I do agree that the incarceration for many people is beyond their crime. It's not measured to their crime.
Yeah.
You know, like for having weed versus a white collar crime, 5 years for a joint, you know, but
yeah.
You know what I'm saying. However, parents have their child removed 70% to 80% without substantiated reasons, for bullshit reasons.
Wow.
Like what Susie and Peter went through.
So we got to change this, guys. Oh, we got somebody else who wants to say, hey, how are you?
Hi, I'm Sharon, and I just wanted to add one thing about, you were talking about the judge being the final decision in family court, and although it is the judge, it's really DCF. DCF is really above the judge. The judge sits there and says, well, I've never been to your home, but DCF has been to your home. Therefore, I'm going to agree with any recommendation that DCF says because they know better. And I just wanted to add that because you know you wait for a judge. You think the judge is going to be fair and honest, and they're just going to go along with whatever DCF says.
Well, right.
Wow.
Right. That's because the judge is an administrative hearing officer, because the whole system is actually private. It's not public.
So the family court system is private.
It's incorporated. Yes.
It's incorporated. What?
Yes. Think about One World Corporation, right?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. It's incorporated.
Yes. There exactly. There is no accountability with DCF.
Wow.
Yes.
That's very, very scary. That's very, very scary. So we're going to cover this story more. You can follow the link that I'm going to put down online. And we're going to have Joyce. We're going to do a whole show. I'm going to book her on the show. We're going to get really deep into this. I got Monica Shamanik. I hope I said your name right. I hope I said it right. We have her booked for October the 8th. We're going to get more involved talking about family court. So much fun. But I think people need to know about this because real reform needs to happen. I'm going to sign out now and share this video, and I will put the links to also the GoFundMe, which I think are right through the event page. Is the GoFundMe link in there?
Is it on there? I don't know that I put it on there.
I'll make sure that I put the GoFundMe for this poor family to at least have a fighting chance to get their child back, because it's all of us together. We have to become the media. We have to become the force of change in our communities locally, and that's what it's going to take for us to gain back our rights. Wow, the incorporated family private court. So yeah, we'll be back live again at some point talking more about this on the air at WESU, Voice of the City. So we will see you guys later.